was a son. He was devoured by earth. There was a God. They call him the Father. And there was a means to make a valley with grace out of this hole that I've dug for me. You made a valley.
Good evening and welcome to Healing Our Brokenness, episode 65, entitled Dissecting My Blackness. I just recently being this past weekend, released a new book, and this book is entitled My Blackness. And what My Blackness is a book that is composed mainly of poems, and then there are a few short stories that is closer to the end of the book. And I call this book, I guess I would say, my accidental book. There have been some grief that came up in regards to my grandmother's death. Her birthday was just recently June 29th. And whenever it gets close to her birthday, ever since she passed away, it triggers grief as far as that anniversary date. So I had that to deal with. And then I have a cousin and aunt who passed both within 11 days of each other this past December. And so I think that what happened is their deaths brought even more memories up of my grandmother this time than what I had even expected. As far as with her birthday coming up, it made it even fresher this time, I guess I would say. So between my grandmother's birthday, her death, and the family member's death, and then a lot of memories from childhood coming into play from a lot of the Black literature that I have been reading lately. I mean, tons of memories of childhood. I was able to deal with that through the expression of poetry. And then we have what happened to George Floyd, in June, and the other victims of racial violence, injustice, and profiling. And I wanted to speak up to be able to say something, but I did not know quite what it was that the Lord wanted me to say. So I had to wait on him for direction. And before I knew it, within a good 5 weeks, I had written enough poetry to compose a book. And I decided that I would do it. It was the right thing for me to do. It kind of combined everything, all of the above, so to speak, that I just mentioned, all those areas. And I felt that this book would be something that I could leave behind to my children as part of our family history as well. And so what I have decided to do, as far as the book is concerned, the reason why I call it Dissection of My Blackness, I am going to read 4 different poems from the book. The first one that I'm going to read is entitled My Blackness. And so my blackness, it deals with all the different reasons that you could think of that an individual would not like you. And there are several reasons that people might not like us. And these different issues I did specifically to the Black race, as far as when a person looks at us, why is it that they do not like us? And the first one is entitled, just like the book, My Blackness. Is it the sassy in my voice? Is it the hips I'm given by choice? Is it the knots that's in my hair that makes the crowds shake heads and stare? Is it my eyes that's filled with grief above the teeth that's clenched by thief? Is it the music that makes me sway, that helps me heal from day to day? Is it the movies that recall drama of taken lives and baby mamas? It's part of blackness. Oh, can't you see? My godly image, identity. The next poem that I want to recite is entitled Music and the Projects. And when I lived in the projects with my grandmother, you could always hear someone playing music and you could always hear it playing loud. And it's just something that, for a person that lived in the particular projects that I lived in, which was Madden Park Homes, is something that you'd never forget. Here is Music in the Projects. Today, yes, today, it would be incomprehensible, unacceptable. You don't play music so that everyone can hear it. Some people call it uncivilized. Can you feel it? But let me take you back to Madden Park Homes. When music played in the air all the way back to the day when one didn't fear it, in the housing projects, was the glue that helped us remember our story, our struggles, our strengths, life's triggers, God's glory. You hope someone plays your favorite so you can say, this is my jam. You gather in groups with your friends and sing lyrics in unison and feel the unity. You feel the power of the lyrics. You feel the struggle of the singers, and you know 'tis true. For music playing in the projects is just like broken wooden chairs, so badly needing glue. The next poem that I would like to recite is called The Crickets, and I wrote this one because of the very calm feeling that I receive inside, and it's a feeling that says home, from when I would go to down south, as we called it, to Memphis every summer as a child, and I would hear the crickets and just have a wonderful good time playing with all of my cousins. So here is the crickets. I hear the sound of the crickets taking me back to Memphis, taking me back to the days of visiting my uncle, my great aunts, and then my second cousins and third cousins, and so on. The sound that lets me know all is well. Inside my soul, I am calm. It's the sound of the crickets. And every time I hear their song, it reminds me of Memphis, barefoot in the dirt. Memphis, hot, scorching sun. Memphis, chili dogs with coleslaw and barbecue and biscuits and grits. Memphis, full of food, fun, and relatives. And the sound of the crickets. The last poem that I'm going to recite to you is entitled Profiled. And this poem I wrote basically to describe what happened to me one morning when I left from home and was on my way to work and was afraid that I was going to get pulled over. And so as you listen to Profiled, perhaps you could think of a time in your life where you were on pins and needles and you know that it was going to be something that was unjust, possibly, that would happen. So here goes Profiled. Leave in the morning, headed to work, got my game face on, no intention to shirk. Drive down the street that's adorned with tracks. Almost there, not giving in to lack. Get to the corner, red decorated light. Must look to the left for permission to turn right. There's a cop in the left lane. Blink position, sees my face. Do I follow? He's grappled with this decision. And it happens. Yes, it happens. As it happens every time. Snapshot taken. I am profiled, and right now I fit the crime. I am black. I own old car, and it's beat up pretty badly. I am here in this city. Don't belong. Filled with pity. I keep driving, trying to focus. Is this a dream that I'm in denial? I'm on trial. That's when dissonance becomes my friend. Is he following me? I don't understand. What could I have done so wrong? You are black, skin intact, and is screaming out that song. Just when I come to terms with what is happening to me, cops turns around, does a U-turn, and it's clear I've been set free. Tell my son later on in the day what transpired. Oh yeah, it happens. Following you long enough just to see if you were expired. I see you got a taste of my medicine, was his response. As I stood there, had to agree that it gave me quite a scare. As I grappled with what had happened and concluded in the end, I was profiled. Yes, I was profiled. Should be labeled as a sin. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to episode 65, Dissecting My Blackness, where we listened to the poems and kind of got a feel for the setting of each poem that was written. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed rest of your week, and until next time.
Turn those valleys into places to learn instead of burn and perish away. And nights never so cold without His grace. How could I say that I've seen the world from His great love? How could I know what He could love? How would I've seen what He had in store for me if I didn't give up and let Him be my valley of grace, where things would change and maybe they'd take up the cross high again. The valley of grace never was the same after He had died. The love that refines. So much I wish I could give back, but I'm not intact to be sharing all of that. You took the price to give me that life, and now it's never gonna fade away. When I see I need more of Him, He whispers the sweetest of mercies upon my ear.